never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is the last Hump Day Wednesday in the year 2023, so it's time for our final Top 10 countdown in the year 2023. And last week, I talked about the top 10 most watched college football games from 2023. So today, I want to talk about the top 10 most watched sporting events in the world. And this comes to us from roadtrips.com from Allison Baker. Now, only a couple of these events take place here in the USA. Most of them are in other countries. That's why it's the most watched sporting events in the world, not just here in the States. But I want you to write these numbers down and see how many more people watch sporting events outside of the USA than they do here in America, because the numbers are astonishing in how many people actually watch sports outside of the USA. Number 10, the NBA Finals averaged 17.8 million viewers. Number 9, Wimbledon at 25.6 million. Number 8, shouldn't be a surprise because I talk about all the time here on the channel how the NFL is the most watched sport here in the USA, and it's not close. So obviously the Super Bowl would be the most watched sporting event here in the USA, and it had 115.1 million viewers. Now I want you to write that down. 115.1 million watched the Super Bowl, and people know that the Super Bowl is the one game here in the USA that even if you're not a football fan, you watch that game. And just wait until I get to number 1 and see how many more people watch the most watched sporting event in the world compared to the Super Bowl at 115.1 million. Number 7, the UEFA Champions League final, 450 million people. And number 6, the Winter Games at 2 billion. So now we are into the billions. And yes, I know the Winter Games takes place in America, but when I was talking about the Super Bowl, I was talking about just one game, whereas the Winter Games is about a week and a half altogether, not just one game in one day. Let's recap numbers 10 through 6 before we talk about the top 5. NBA Finals, Wimbledon, Super Bowl, the UEFA Champions League Final, and the Winter Games. This is the top 10 most watched sporting events in the world courtesy of roadtrips.com. Number 5, the Summer Games at $2 billion. And the Women's World Cup was $2 billion. Now at $2.6 billion at number 3 is the Cricket World Cup. Number 2, the Tour de France, $3.5 billion. I used to watch the Tour de France, believe it or not, when it came on the NBC Sports Network every year. But the NBC Sports Network is no longer around, so now I don't think the Tour de France comes on a channel that I can still watch it. But I used to actually enjoy watching the Tour de France. And the most watched sporting event in the world, and you shouldn't be surprised by this because it has been for a while now, the World Cup of Soccer with 5 billion viewers. So it had 5 billion compared to the Super Bowl, which everybody here watches, only having 115.1 million. So it's not even close. So in some of the countries around the world, apparently every single person in that country watches soccer. For 5 billion people to have watched it. And soccer is one of those things that, you know, it's so popular in other countries that here in America they've tried for years and years and years to popularize it. And, you know, there's teams all around America. A lot of times it comes on TV. The World Cup usually comes on TV. And they try, but for whatever reason, soccer has just never caught on. But as far as in the world, soccer is the most watched sport, and it's not close. And I've tried to get into it. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, Clemson won another national championship in soccer. And when Clemson plays, I watch soccer because anything Clemson plays in, I'll watch. But outside of that, I've tried to get into soccer. And outside of a game here and there that catches my attention, I just can't get into it. But there's no denying that it's the most popular sport in the world. And by these numbers, it's not even close. When it had 5 billion, and number 2, Tour de France, had 3.5 billion. So soccer is by far the most popular sport in the world. So even if you're like me and you don't like it, we're in the minority because obviously people like it, just not here in America. I'm not really sure why it hasn't caught on, but it just hasn't. Any thoughts on this list, please feel free to let me know. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I asked my wife what she wanted for Christmas. Nothing would make me happier than a diamond necklace, she said. So I bought her nothing. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.